father more than him, mother or father. He want to make sure that you don't love husband and wife and not even your children. He don't want you to love them more than him. And when you get to that place, you in his presence. Because you know what? Everything that as you start changing, everything around you got to line up. Everything around you, everybody around you line up. People start dropping off. People you thought was for you. You wondering what in the world, God, what's going on here? It's nothing that you done wrong, but God's getting you ready. And I tell you, it blessed my heart when Bishop Hickman, when we went, it was like a month ago. And I came up to him and he said, "Ooh, you on rims." I was like, "Huh?" He said, "You ain't welcome here. But you going all over the world. You going to Africa and all that." He don't even know I just talked to a lady that just came from Africa. He didn't even know that. So I'm sitting up there. We like in our birthing process. And we don't realize things that was held up. When you get in that worship mode, the devil got to release it. And there's times you got to say, "Lord, loose my money." You know what I'm saying? That's why our words have so much power. Not only do our words have power, our thoughts have power. And so long we have been molded from children into what our parents wanted us to be, or what our parents or our brothers or our sisters said that we're going to be, till a lot of times people be affected from things that's going on in their childhood, even up until now. And then they get stuck or complacent and can't really walk into the fullness that God had called them to walk into because they got stuck. You understand? And it's just like, even though I didn't realize when I went to the next phrase, I said, "Lord, look here." I said, "It look like when everything going right, something here go wrong." And you be like, "What?" God said, "You in your comfort zone." We sit here and say, "God, how we going to get out of this? Lord, how we going to make this? How this going to happen?" And let me tell you, when God start doing stuff, you be like, how in the world? And you know it ain't nobody but God. And you still on balance. And you trying to say, "Lord," but you see all these other stuff that I got to take care of. He'll say, "Take care of this at this time. Take care of that at that time." And then as you start moving the way he doing, it sounds crazy a lot of times when God tell you. God will say, "Don't pay this, but pay this." You'll be like, "Well, wait a minute." He said, "Well, you wait on this right here and you deal with this. Then you go and you deal with this and he tell you to deal with that. Then he'll tell you how to deal with this." And then it's like everything just fall into place. And you sit up there, people feel like you got it going on. You may not have it going on, but you do have it going on because you're listening and you're in a place where you being obedient to God. The earth is the Lord and the fullness thereof. And where we can stay connected and stay in his presence, there is nothing he will withhold from us. Everything that we have need of, he'll bring it to us if he have to bring it to our doorstep and they knock on our door to hand it to us. And this is what I'm realizing. And even though when things are happening, like I'm with the car that I have, it's like different things happen and it wasn't even my fault. They put the wrong rim, different things that happen. Guess what? I was sitting up there like, "Lord, what it is?" God said, "Talk to this person." So I said, "What? I didn't do it yet, but I'm going to do it." He'll tell you when to do it, how to do it. And a lot of times we get up there worried and upset. God will cause them to have to take care of what they messed up. We always want to rush and try to take care of it ourselves. When we listen out on money, we paying extra stuff that we shouldn't have to pay. And really, when you doing the work of God, we are ambassadors for God. Okay? People supposed to look out for us, but when we're into God's got to touch people's hearts to be a blessing to us, because his word got to get forth. His word, you got to travel all over the world. And you can't sit up there and get mad at people because they don't believe in you and they don't give. Because of the fact that when God says something, God do something right in front. They don't even know how you doing it, how you even operating. But when you stay in the presence of God, that's being on his threshing floor. That's being in a prayerful state. And a lot of times, if you're not careful, things that get us off focus. Things that happen so till you'll be like, "What?" But God wants us to have peace no matter what it is, no matter what we face with, because God's going to give us that strength and that energy and that tenacity to be able to deal with it. And so that's why when I happened to open up the Bible and it said on Ruth, I was like, wow, Ruth was faithful. Her husband died. And can you imagine Naomi thinking that she was cursed? Because now she don't have no grandkids. She didn't have nothing she had everything to lose. She had nothing to live for. Really, she didn't have nothing to live for. But God blessed her with a faithful daughter-in-law, which was Ruth. Ruth gave her the tenacity to want to live again. And you know what? Even in the process of that, guess what? Not only did she have a daughter-in-law, she ended up getting blessed beyond measure. But guess what? Naomi needed Ruth just as much as Ruth needed Naomi. Naomi introduced Ruth to God. And God went to serving her God, even though she didn't know nothing about Naomi's God. But she learned about Naomi's God. And in her humility to Naomi, she got a rich man. She worked right in the same field. Oh, Jesus. She worked right in the same field. And she was obedient. She didn't go after other men. She didn't go after, she just kept working. She was being obedient to everything her mother-in-law told her. She was obedient to it. And by her being obedient to it, she got blessed. But if she wasn't obedient, so those that don't really want to listen, sometimes you got to let go. Because if you don't let go, they'll cause you, if they're going to run into that wall, you're going to run into that wall with them if they don't want to listen. But if they want to listen, then that's when things start going through. And I thank God because even now, there's some things that I have prophesied that come into pass, even in people's lives. You understand? So it blesses me that it happened like that. But it wasn't, there were times I didn't even want to prophesy no more. I would sit up there and prophesy. They'll sit up there, well, they go somewhere else. I'd be like, I'm through. And I remember the times we say, Lord, I said, God, if you don't do something right now, I told God, I said, if you don't do nothing by December 25th, I ain't prophesying no more. What is it prophesying and I ain't nothing happening? And I keep going around circles. Let me tell you something. I had to turn around and repent because when people come to me and I go to being a blessing in their lives and I go to ministering to them and they say, you remember me and you told me this and it. And then God will have a way to say, you know what? It ain't about us. It ain't about what we going through. I said, Lord, if you don't bless me no more, you bless me. You understand? When he give us life, our life, health, and strength, he blessed us. You know what I'm saying? But I just thank God because it's in all that he teaches us how to love like he loved. But the thing about it is that we have problems sometimes letting go. Sometimes we have problems letting go because we like, but if the person don't want it as bad as we want them to have it, we have to let them go until they do want it. Now, if they come to the point where they do want it, guess what we do? Then we reach out for them, we embrace them. But there's there's so many levels of love that it's just amazing. How you know when somebody had done you wrong, you can love anyway. That's the love that you have when you having the love of God. But a lot of times God want to use us as example. Just like when something was happening, I started limping again. I said, Lord, this is crazy. What's going on here? Because there was an attack. I went to praying. I was commanding it to line up, not realizing that I said I refuse to take pain medicine. This is going to line up in the name of Jesus. Do you know, I was around, I was walking, I said, wait a minute, I ain't limping no more. I realized I wasn't limping as, you know what I'm saying? But I know how to be careful and, because I know, but I've been praying. But that's why I was telling you, people of God, when we on the threshing floor of God, when we yield, when we on the threshing floor, that threshing floor represent, we just yielded to God. We just saying yes to God. We saying, Lord, let your will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Not my will, but your will be done. And I tell you, in doing it, God changes you. And a lot of times you're not used to that change because you're used to doing, like I used to always, hey, talk across the room. Now I find myself walking over and talk. You know what I'm saying? Because what we were raised with, how we were raised like, to other people it's offensive. To us it may not be offensive, but to other people it's offensive. And then when you realize it's offensive, then you got to say, excuse me, but, and then you got to explain. But a lot of times it's like people live in different worlds, different atmospheres. And I thank God because even with my sister, there was a time I was just... And my sister called me. I called my older sister. She know who she is. I love her. And she called and went to really inspiring me and sharing with me, the things, with Daddy and how the things I wasn't able to experience. And she shared it with me. But she don't realize how much she inspired me and how much she encouraged me to keep on going. You understand what I'm saying? Because sometimes we get to a point we want to stop. And then got to have one phone call to let you know you can't stop. You got to keep going. And what I mean